Welcome back to Kim's Creations. I have an 18 by 24 inch level 2 canvas from Loft, and I am going to do a graded background for this using these colors, kind of going with a sunset theme. So for the darkest, I've got Diox Purple from Liquitex Basics, Deep Violet, Permanent, what is this one? Permanent Red Purple from Amsterdam, Light Magenta from Loft, Orange from Master's Touch, and Naples Yellow from Loft. So, I have my water here. I've already prepped the back of the canvas. I'm going to just moisten my canvas. I'm now going to just use the paint straight from the tubes and get to blending and see what happens. Oops, I just flung paint way off. So this is one of the first times I think that I've done blending on this scale, and it is not easy. I saw Tammy Anderson do this, and this was the main inspiration for this painting. She had something by Liquitex Basics which expands the drying time of the paints, which I didn't have, but that certainly would have helped me immensely, and I just messed with it. I just continued to add paint and blend until I was happy. However, what you won't see is that when I was done with messing with this to a certain extent, I let it dry, and then I wasn't happy with how solid the lines were between the colors, and I thought it needed a little more work. So the still shot that you'll see at the end of this is one where I had gone back and just blended again till I got something that I liked. So just like Tammy's painting, I wanted to create a fairy garden. However, in this case, I was actually going to use an idea from a video that I saw Chris Channel use and do ribbons on it. So I am going to use a combination. You already saw me go through the paints there. Both by Pēbēo Studio Acrylics, as well as Amsterdam and Liquitex Basics, and all the paints and for all the different stages will be in the description below. But you will see me now cover this canvas with Floetrol. It is just Floetrol. And I know people have done this in the past, but I had not seen this done until I watched Tammy Anderson's video. So I will have her video in the description below for you guys, but I thought it was so cool. So I'm going to add a second layer with the ribbons on top. And yes, that Floetrol does dry clear. So I am just layering 2 little cups with the blues separated from the greens. And so I'm going to have green ribbons and blue ribbons. And we'll see what you think. So I'm just tilting this out a little bit, and unfortunately I did not get a picture of this dried. I don't know what I was thinking. Here it's partially dried, but look what happened to my canvas. And that's the canvas. That isn't paint. So weird. Starts my second covering of Floetrol. And just like Tammy Anderson, I am putting like a surround to give this a little bit more of a 3D look to my vines and to my garden here. So I'm doing kind of a Dutch pour on this, and you'll see me struggle again with this paint because I didn't put enough down. Normally when you're doing a Dutch pour, it doesn't require a lot of paint to blow it out. But I definitely needed a lot more than what I had on my canvas there to blow out. All right, so the other thing I want to point out is look what's happening to the paint with the Floetrol on it. The Floetrol just makes that paint just kind of sell up, and I don't know what it does. It eats it because it goes away. But look how cool that is. And watch, as I'm blowing out here, you'll see it happen some more. Right now I'm just fixing the edges, making sure they're all covered as well, because, you know, hey, your edges are important too. Once I'm done fiddling with that, I'm grabbing some, well, actually I'm using a chopstick, and just dragging some of that paint and doing curly cues to make it go with the vines that I have in the background. They're not as visible as I thought they would be, which I guess is okay. You will see when this dries and the background is revealed. But I had fun, and I did want to just kind of have the foreground, if you will, be somewhat cohesive with the background. So that's what I am doing here. Then, of course, because this was a Dutch pour over the background, I almost forgot to scrape my edges. So you do want to make sure that you scrape the edges so that it does prevent the paint from being pulled off the sides. So that's what I did. So here's a picture of the paint partially dried, and you can see that Floetrol there. And this is it completely dried. Look how cool that is. I am now getting ready to put some stencils on, and I have a combination of TLP, parakeet, and lily pad that I mixed up in here that I combined with some golden regular gel gloss. And then I have two other piggies just separate, both sea glass and lagoon. So I kept these ones separate, and they're just off to the side here. And I have positioned this stencil. I'm going to use this little fairy, and I am going to add just some titanium white to the stencil, to the base, just to act as a base for the gel gloss to go on. Because the pigments tend to be transparent, or at least semi-transparent, and I don't want any of the background to show through. So I'm just going to paint on, hopefully. Where's my paintbrushes? So prepared here. Not. Paintbrush. I'm just going to paint it on. Hopefully it'll dry really fast, and then I'll stick the gel gloss right on top of that. So that's my plan. Okay, I think I'm ready to roll. I did use a little hairdryer to assist with having the paint dry. So here's my mix of, what was it, lily pad and something. And it's looking pretty good. I'm going to use this as the fairy's body in this case. So let's start. I end up actually putting two fairies on. I'm only showing you doing one fairy, but the second fairy is further up the picture and I reversed the colors. So I had the two blues as the body and the green for the wings. I also embellished some of the vines to make them into leaves, but let me know what you think of the final product. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. If you like what you see, please make sure you subscribe and hit that thumbs up button. Till next time, bye for now.